The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Maria Chen's restraints were secured to the ceremonial pyre. The crystalline walls of the Grand Assembly Hall reflected the faces of 200 alien species, their expressions ranging from smug satisfaction to carefully masked concern. Supreme Arbiter Velthar, a towering insectoid whose carapace gleamed like polished obsidian, raised his primary manipulator. By unanimous decree of the Galactic Council, his translator rendered his chittering into standard galactic. The human, known as Maria Chen, is found guilty of species-level insubordination. The sentence is death by sacred flame, as prescribed by the ancient laws. Maria's dark eyes scanned the assembled representatives without fear. Her voice was steady, almost conversational. "You're making a mistake. We asked for fair trade agreements. We requested representation proportional to our population. We demanded you stop treating Earth as a resource colony." She smiled grimly. "Humanity doesn't forget, and we never forgive." Empty threats from a primitive species, Velthar dismissed. "Your kind has been part of the Council for merely 30 cycles. You forget your place." The flames ignited with ceremonial precision, blue and silver tongues of exotic plasma that burned hotter than any earthly fire. The alien species present had expected screaming, begging, the usual display of terror that validated their superiority. Instead, Maria Chen sang. An old Earth song, defiant and clear, her voice never wavering even as the flames consumed her. The transmission was broadcast across all Council channels, as was tradition. Every human colony, every Earth city, every spacecraft bearing the blue and green flag received the same message. Their ambassador had been executed for daring to demand equality. The Council expected outrage, perhaps some ineffective protests. Humans were technologically inferior, after all, centuries behind most member species. They controlled only one star system and a handful of struggling colonies. The Council did not expect silence. John Reynolds stood in the command center of the UHNS Retribution, Earth's newest and largest warship. Around him, holographic displays showed the feeds from every human military installation across known space. The silence his species had maintained for exactly 72 hours was about to end. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, "all fleets report ready. Project Cassandra is armed and operational." John nodded slowly. He'd known Maria for 15 years. They'd trained together at the Diplomatic Corps Academy, shared countless debates about humanity's place in the galaxy. She'd been humanity's voice, its hope for peaceful integration. The Council had silenced that voice permanently. "Broadcast on all channels," John commanded. "Let every species hear this." His face appeared on every screen across Council space, replacing entertainment programs, news feeds, even emergency broadcasts. Billions of aliens suddenly found themselves looking at a human's cold, determined expression. "People of the Galactic Council," John began, his voice calm and precise. 72 hours ago, you executed Ambassador Maria Chen for the crime of demanding equality. You broadcast her death as entertainment. As a lesson in obedience, you thought humanity would bow. You were wrong. He gestured, and the display behind him shifted to show a tactical map of Council space. Red markers began appearing, hundreds of them, then thousands. For the past 30 years since first contact, you've dismissed humans as primitive, weak, insignificant. You didn't bother to study our history. You didn't ask why a species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel was so eager to explore, so desperate to expand. John's expression hardened. "We are the species that split the atom to end a war. We are the children of a world where survival meant competing with predators that could smell fear. We are a race that turned our own planet's hostility into a forge for evolution." The red markers on the map suddenly connected, forming a web of targeting solutions that encompassed every major Council installation, homeworld, and fleet position. While you debated trade margins and resource allocations, we studied. While you enjoyed your comfortable peace, we prepared. Every human freighter carried weapons. Every colony concealed military installations. Every diplomatic vessel contained enough antimatter to crack a moon. John leaned forward. You taught us we couldn't trust you. So we didn't. The tactical display zoomed in on the Council's crown jewel, Veltar's homeworld of Kreshtal, a paradise planet of 70 billion souls. Supreme Arbiter Velthar, this message is specifically for you. You lit the fire that killed our ambassador. Now you'll understand why every human culture, across all our history, has feared and respected fire. John's voice dropped to barely above a whisper, yet it carried absolute certainty. We didn't just study your technology, we perfected it, then we surpassed it. At his signal, the Retribution's main display showed live feeds from Council space. Massive human battleships, far larger and more advanced than anything in their registered fleet, materialized from stealth systems around every major Council world. They hadn't been traveling to these locations, they'd been waiting, hidden for years. Project Cassandra, John continued, named after the prophet nobody believed. For 15 years we've been building, hiding, and positioning an armada that makes your entire Council fleet look like a historical curiosity. We have antimatter weapons you can't detect, artificial intelligence you can't hack, and shield technology that makes your best weapons irrelevant. Veltar's face appeared on a secondary screen, his mandibles clicking in barely controlled panic. This is madness. We are hundreds of species. You are one. Yes, John agreed. We are one, united in purpose. Humanity doesn't have the luxury of internal politics when facing extinction. Every man, woman, and child from Earth to the colonies volunteered for this. We built these ships with our own hands. We programmed these systems with our own genius. And we're going to use them. He stood, his full admiral's uniform perfect despite the tension radiating through the command center. You have 72 hours, the exact time you gave us to mourn. Every Council member species will issue a formal apology. You will grant humanity full voting rights. You will return all resources taken from our colonies. And Supreme Arbiter Velthar. John's smile was devoid of warmth. You will submit yourself to human justice for the murder of Maria Chen. And if we refuse? Velthar's translator barely captured his defiance. Then we demonstrate why humans are the only species on Earth that hunted predators for sport, John replied. We end the Council permanently. The transmission cut across human space. Millions of personnel waited at their stations. In the command center of the Retribution, John looked at Maria's photograph on his personal display. She'd believed peace was possible. She'd died for that belief. Now he would ensure her death meant something. The Council had 72 hours to decide if they would learn to respect humanity, or if they would learn why Earth's dominant species had a saying, "Don't start a war you can't finish." Humanity had already finished building their fleet. Now they waited to see if they'd need to use it. The clock was ticking.